What's the good life to me? I would say the good life to me, I'm on the basketball court, the ball is in my hands, and then I just pull up. And I hit it, buzzer goes off. We win the game, go home, get me a bowl of ice cream, sit back on the couch, and take a nap. That's the good life. What's up, everybody? I'm Terrence, and we're all trying to live our best lives, right? We all want to be happy, have fun, you know, whether it's spending time at the mall, hanging out with your friends, or going over your friend's house during the summertime, swimming in the pool, just enjoying ourselves. And we want to enjoy every single day with the people that we care about. We all want the good life. So today we're going to talk about one of the things that can help us start living the good life right here, right now. Let's talk about it. What's something you're really looking forward to right now? Maybe it's a favorite class that you have every day. For me, it was team sports. It was a gym class where I honed my J. Sweet, baby. Or maybe it's a hangout with a friend you've been planning for a while now, or a really big game update. Or some of you probably can't wait for summer vacation to be here. And I know most of you are really looking forward to whatever you're going to eat when you leave here today. So for me, one of the things that I was looking forward to, particularly in middle school, is there was this club or a group of people whenever I was 12. And there was this thing called Fight Club. And it's nothing like it sounds. It's nobody's fault. I know, it sounds crazy. But the whole idea was for teenagers to have a place where they can go and they can play and they can have friends and be friendly and all this other kind of stuff. But for me, all of my friends were a part of this club now because they were 6 months older than me. And so it was January and I didn't turn 13 until July that year. And it felt like I had to wait forever to be a part of this Fight Club. And so it just felt like it took so long for me to be able to be 13 to be a part of this Fight Club. I know what you're thinking. You're like, that doesn't sound so bad. Well, let me put it in a way that you might understand. You ever had popcorn? Come on, man. And it's burnt. It is burnt. Waiting is the worst. The worst. When we're looking forward to something, doesn't it feel like we have to wait forever for it to actually get here? Maybe like that movie we're dying to see seems like it's never going to come out. That concert we have tickets to feels years away. That date we're going on can't wait to get here fast enough. Waiting for what we're excited about can be awful. Or the popcorn's just taking forever. But you know what else can be awful? Waiting on something we don't love or aren't looking forward to. Think about it. That class you absolutely can't stand feels like it never ends, doesn't it? That's how it was for me with algebra in middle school. That lecture from your mom or dad seems like it's going to go on forever. The lunch line when you're starving feels like you're going to stand there all day. Waiting for something we don't like to be over, that's the kind of waiting that is the absolute worst. No one likes waiting. We all have to do it, but none of us actually like it. None of us really enjoy being patient for good things to come, and we definitely struggle to be patient during things we don't like. We hear grown-ups say things like, patience is a virtue, or good things come to those who wait. But all that is a lot easier said than done. Now, I don't know about you, but my idea of living a good life requires very little waiting or patience. But unfortunately, that's just not real life. In real life, patience is a part of the process. When your sibling keeps using the hot water, so you have to take a cold shower, patience required. When you told your parents that practice was going to end at 6:30, but it's almost 7 and you're waiting on the sidewalk wondering if they forgot about you, patience needed. When you send that text to your best friend, and this is the absolute worst, but all you see is that gray chat bubble with no response, patience please. Some of you are struggling to be patient with your friends and your classmates. They might be acting differently, and you're wondering what's made them change. You might be wondering how long it will be until the relationship feels normal again. And having to be patient in the process isn't easy at all. Some of you are struggling to be patient with your parents. You wish they'd try to see things from your perspective. You want to be understood by them, but they can't seem to do it. And instead of patience while they figure it out, you just feel frustration. There might even be some of you in here who are struggling to have patience with yourself. You wish you were a better student, or a better athlete, or a better friend, and instead of being patient with yourself as you go, you find yourself being critical instead. We all struggle with patience. And when we do, what happens? Well, if you're like me, you complain. You get annoyed, you get frustrated, you might even give up. But while that may be a natural response, what I've learned, and you've probably realized, is that it definitely doesn't make the situation any better. In fact, it can actually make the wait, the situation, or the relationship that requires patience a lot worse. And none of us wants that, do we? Now here's the reality. If we really want to live the good life, then patience is a part of the process. So if we know we need to be more patient, is there a way to figure out how to actually be more patient? The key to all the details of living a good life can actually be found in the Bible. And today we're going to take our tip on patience from a book of the Bible called Proverbs. Now, what's cool about Proverbs is that it was written with the sole purpose to provide us with wisdom. Solomon, who at the time was considered an expert at being wise, wrote most of the book of Proverbs. Now, this dude, he probably could answer any question you threw at him. Solomon, what is the square root of 64? What is the ideal time for popping popcorn? You know when people talk about someone who is really good at something? Like Mateo's really great at Fortnite. He basically wrote the book on it. Well, that's what Solomon did for wisdom. So today we're going to look at one thing Solomon said about patience. Here's what he wrote. A person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Okay, so if we break this down, what do we get? Well, for starters, Solomon said that patience comes as a direct result of one thing, wisdom. You see, if we want to be patient, we need God's wisdom to help us get there. The more wisdom we have, the more patient we'll become, and the less wisdom we have, the less patient we'll be able to be. What is wisdom exactly? Wisdom is the ability to see and know what's best. It's something that we get more and more of over time as we grow as people and in our faith. And the Bible even tells us that if we want wisdom, all we have to do is ask God to give it to us. That sounds like a pretty good place to start if you ask me. So what do we do from there? Once God gives us more wisdom and helps us grow in patience, what does that actually look like in our lives? Well, according to Solomon, it's choosing to look past an offense. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about someone hurting you physically or emotionally. I'm not talking about the offenses that happen repeatedly and oftentimes secretly. Those things need to be dealt with. And one of the ways you can do that is by talking to an adult like your small group leader for help. The offenses or wrongdoings or frustrations that I'm talking about are the things that test your patience. When someone bothers you, annoys you, or hurts your feelings, you have the chance to practice patience. And when you do, Solomon said, that's actually to your glory. It's the coolest, greatest, most amazing thing you can do. It's a big deal. So when Solomon said it's for your glory, he might as well have said it's for your benefit, though glory sounds much cooler. So if you want the good life, pursue patience. If you want the glory, practice patience in situations where it's hard to do. Choose to be kind instead of yelling at your younger sibling. I know how hard that can be. Choose not to roll your eyes at your parents and actually listen to what they're saying. Choose to show your friend grace when they're late over and over and over again. Choose to be patient with the people in your life and the situations that are frustrating. Let patience be your glory, a part of your good life. Remember, if you want a good life, pursue patience. Of course, this isn't always going to be easy. So to help you get started, try doing one of these things this week. First, seek to understand. Now, when we're frustrated, we're not usually thinking about the other person's point of view. I get it. Trust me, I get it. We're not trying to understand their story. When impatience is tempting us to be unkind to someone, patience allows us to learn more about them. Trying to understand someone will help you be more patient. And even if you can't learn about them, you can try to assume the best about why they're doing or saying the thing that's testing your patience. Next, think one step ahead. Now, in the moment, things tend to seem way bigger than they actually are. So breathe and take a step back. Now, when you do that, ask yourself these questions. Will this matter to me by the end of the day, end of the week, end of the year, 5 years from now, 5 minutes from now? Questions like these will help us see situations more clearly and give us time to practice patience. Patience is powerful. It has the ability to do a lot of good for you and the other people around you. And that's part of the good life. So if you want the good life, pursue patience. So today, think about this question. What's one thing that causes me to have a hard time being patient? I can answer that question. It's probably when I burn the popcorn. Let's try this again. This time will be better than the last.